So the countdown to this year's World Cup is well and truly on as 32 nations combine to create the greatest sporting spectacular on the bloody planet. But in this video, I'm going to try and answer you one simple question. Can United States win this year's World Cup? That's right, folks, back once again with another World Cup summary video. That's right, where we're going to try and answer one simple question. Can this nation actually go out and win the World Cup out in Qatar? We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button, bang it, all things World Cup related, Blabbing Rovers related, world football itself related. We got it all here, boys, under one roof. Of course, the countdown is well and truly on, with the tournament set to kick off in November 2022, of course. But what's going to happen this coming World Cup? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. And if you are interested in helping out the channel in another way, check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Patreon. And of course, there's a Discord in there. So get in amongst it and let's get chatting. All right, it's the United States, of course, the country I call home right here, right now. And of course, they are here on merit, having squeaked through the qualification phase, finishing third in a very, very difficult CONCACAF qualification phase. Let's take a look at, of course, United States. Of course, they are third place indeed, qualifying on the 30th of March 2022. So their 11th tournament as a whole. The last was in 2014. They weren't there in 2018. They weren't there in Russia, of course, but they're back. And of course, I'm here in the United States, and of course, I'm excited for this nation to do very, very well. But they do have a bloody difficult group to get out of. So unfortunately, it might not be a tournament for them to succeed. But we'll elaborate on that in a second, because it's a great point I'm bubbling in my brain right here, right now. This is just their first tournament in a row. Their best was in 1930, where they finished in third. Can they equal or better that? Probably not, but not yet anyway. Of course, so they qualified down here, as you can see from the graphic. In what turned out to be a very difficult qualification group. And nothing was guaranteed until the last day of the qualification phase. As you can see, level on points for Costa Rica, who had to go through via the Interconfederation playoffs. So a very difficult journey it's been so far for the United States. Panama, who were there last time, of course, finishing in 5th on 21 points. And there was a big gap between themselves and, of course, the chasing pack, Jamaica, El Salvador, and Honduras, of course. And Jamaica, I'm going to talk a little bit about Jamaica here. Of course, they tried to bring in some players who had partial or at least 50-50 citizenship, of course, for Jamaica. But, of course, that didn't really work out in time. I think it was too little too late, which goes to show that I think the next World Cup in 2026 is going to be a little bit more bizarre, because it's a trio of nations. In fact, the trio of nations that qualified from the CONCACAF will be hosting 2026. Canada, Mexico, and United States as well. So this World Cup is, of course, a great World Cup, and I'm excited about it. And it is a bizarre World Cup taking place, of course, in November. It's not happened before, and it's potential that it might happen again, as I've just read on some other news that Saudi Arabia, I think, and some other nations are looking to host the World Cup in 2030 with a similar sort of time frame. But the 2026 World Cup will be the reason to use this as a dress rehearsal for the United States. Realistically, this group looks tricky. And realistically, it shouldn't look tricky. It should be, if this tournament was taking place in the United States, then I would back the United States to the hilt. That third man, that extra, or the support as being host nation, will make the difference, of course. It'll be monumental. I also fear for the manager here, of course, in the United States, Greg Bartal. So they've got the ingredients, they've got the players here. I just don't think they've got the tactical brain in the dugout. So I think that's going to fall short, and I think they're going to pay the price this time out in that dress rehearsal for that 2026 World Cup taking place in the United States. So I fear that the manager will cost them. They've got the players, they've got some really good talent, and they are on the crest of a golden generation as well. It might be the time next year or next time, 2026, to put a quid or a dollar or a euro on the United States to get to at least the semi-finals in that World Cup. Yes, but what's happening in this World Cup. Of course, a lot of hope will be putting on Christian Pulisic's shoulders. Key man, of course, he is monstrously important for the United States. He's not as important for Chelsea, but of course he is the face of the place. He is the face of world football. I get quizzed by my colleagues here in Pennsylvania, where of course Christian Pulisic earned his spurs at Hershey. So I get quizzed about the expectations for Pulisic, the expectations of the United States in this World Cup. But unfortunately, it's going to be a very difficult one. As you can see, the group itself, they are, of course, up against England, Iran, and a very, very difficult Welsh team. Don't get me wrong, the United States could get to the knockout stages, and who knows what will happen after that. But let's take a look at that group of stuff. The key match for me is against the Welsh. And the Welsh and the United States will lock horns on match number 1 for them on November the 21st. Basically, you win that game, you're one tippy-toe into the next stage already. Because I do anticipate the United States to beat Iran. I do think that's going to happen in the end. And again, that's not going to be an easy game. But I just think they'll have enough in the locker. Especially if they're buoyed on from that first result against the Welsh. And then who knows what happens when they take on the English in match number 2. I think, of course, when you look at it on paper and on form and on players and individuals, England are superior in this group. But when it comes to tournament football, when it comes to, of course, winning and winning regularly, despite who you're up against, that the notion to lose or the ability to lose becomes difficult. Some teams are just born winners, of course. But this is the World Cup. It's the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Are USA in that bracket, in this group? I don't know. It is difficult. England, I think, are too good at the moment to even put them into any consideration to be runners-up. But on a 50-50 or a 90-minute match, anything can happen. And, of course, I'm anticipating some errors or some upsets in this group, whether it is Iran taking points off the United States or whether it's the United States taking points off England. I do think there's going to be some surprises, as there should be in each and every one of these groups. It is so difficult to call when, of course, all eyes are on it, all hope and expectation. And, again, the United States are coming onto this with a free pass here because they know the next World Cup they're going to be there anyway. They're going to be there as hosts. They're going to be there with the cheering faithful on for the next time. So they're going to have a crack at the whip. But for me, the question marks remain in the dugout. Greg Berhalter, for me, is not the answer. They need to get that appointment right for the next World Cup to make sure that United States, not only are they going to be the host next time around, but of course can be contenders next time around. So the odds, even Stevens, for them to qualify is going to be, for me, a straight shootout between themselves and the Welsh, which makes that game against the Welsh on the 21st of November all important. Can they get over the line, get past them? We'll have to wait and see. Can they win the piston thing? 100-1 for the United States to go on and win this thing, of course. Very, very difficult group. Again, it's not the group of death. No, of course not. But it is a straight shootout for me between two nations for that runners-up spot. And I just don't know which way the wind is going to blow on that one. So, Linda.
Can they win the World Cup?
Can they win the World Cup? Not this time. Unfortunately, no. They cannot win this. No, not going to be in that Power 8. The Power 8 is what I'm defining as contenders to can they win the World Cup. So, no, I don't think they can. So, realistically, will they?
Will they win the World Cup?
No, they will not. They will not win the World Cup. Not this time anyway. I do feel at this stage, of course, 4 years away from that 2026 World Cup, I think the United States should be able to be in that bracket of 8 teams that can actually win it next time. But for this one, no. No way, no how. And they do need to get off to a flyer against the Welsh, get that in the bag, get 3 points in the bag, and then you never know, they might make the second round. It is so 50-50, but if I'm a betting man, coming at you right here, right now, I think they're going to get knocked out in the group stages and have a very, very short, sharp World Cup. Get back home for Thanksgiving, of course, watch the rest from home. So, unfortunately for me, the United States crashing out in the group stages. So there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. A short, sharp take on this nation's chances out in Qatar 2022. What do you expect this country will do in this year's tournament? Do you think they'll get out of the group stages, or do you think they'll go deep, deep, deep into the competition itself? Let me know your opinion down below. And of course, we'll look forward to non-stop coverage right here at Blackburn Overseas. We're going to have, of course, predictions, previews, reviews, reactions, and of course, reactions from real fans themselves, of course. So that's all to look forward to this year out in Qatar 2022. So make sure you smash your subscribe, smash the thumbs up, and smash the little bell, boys and girls, as we look forward to a fantastic winter or at least late 2022 of world football. Let me know your thoughts and opinions again about this nation and of course the tournament itself in the comment section. But until then, guys and girls, I'll see you soon for the next one.